Hey y'all, it's Bethany here. Welcome back to my channel, Bethany Brings Books. Today I'm excited to talk about an author that I enjoy, and I want to just talk about her and share her with all of you guys. So, let's get started. So today I'm going to be talking about Jennie Goutet, and I hope I'm saying her last name right. It's Goutet. I don't know if that's how you say it, but we're going to go with it. I discovered her writing several years ago, and I was looking for... Stormy, get down. Get down! I was looking for more. Every time I have a video, she's got to jump up here. Come here. Come sit right here in my lap. Come on. I was looking for some more indie published authors, and somehow I came across her books. I'm not sure. I don't remember. Somehow on Kindle. I don't remember if I read one on there first or if I ordered one to try, maybe. Anyway, I read one of her books and just fell in love with her writing style, and I don't hear a lot of people talk about her on BookTube, so I wanted to feature her today and give her a little shout out because I think some of my followers or viewers, some of y'all who I'm friends with on here, I think y'all would enjoy her writing. Share maybe some lesser known authors. I might do some more videos in the future, who knows. But today we're going to talk about Jennie's books. So I have this stack of Jennie's books. So let's see, how many do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I have 9 of her books. And I recently read this one, A Yorkshire Carol. It's over here stacked up to do a book haul. And Stormy keeps rubbing against them, trying to knock them over. So, Stormy, stop! Oh my goodness, why do you keep doing that? Okay, guys. Anyway, so a little bit about Jennie. Jennie lives in France. I think she lives in Paris, if I'm not mistaken, which I think is pretty cool. And she writes, so far, I think most of her books have been independently published, but I did recently see where she said she had a contract, I think, with Baker Publishing, maybe is what she said. I'm not for sure about who it's with, but her books are so good. I love them. If you are looking for an author who writes in the style of Jane Austen, very sweet stories, but also very entertaining, very well written. The language style is very true to that time period because she does write, I think most of her books are Regency. She has a couple of that are like Georgian era, I think, but primarily she writes Regency, and in my opinion is one of the best Regency authors that I have tried so far. I just think her books are really readable, but then also feel very accurate to the time period. So I want to just talk about a few of her books, just give her a shout out and let y'all go follow her and check her out. So the first series that I ever read by her, first book and ended up being a series that I ever read by her, was this series, The Clavering Chronicles. She has had some other books published. These were some of these are independently published first, and then I think later on, this last one is Elm Hill, a division of HarperCollins Christian Publishing. So yeah, she ended up getting some books more traditionally published. But anyway, so this series, it's a trilogy. The first one is the first one that I read by her, and I really loved this. It's been a while since I read it. It's probably been about 3 years, so I'm going to read the blurb on the back. But it says, Selena Lockhart comes with neither fortune nor connections, and she knows better than to expect society to give her a welcome, especially after her father gambled away his fortune, precipitating the family's sudden fall from grace, and Selena's betrothed to break off the engagement. It therefore comes as no surprise that her new neighbor, Sir Lucius, treats her with disdain. Why should he look beyond appearances when her own promises so little? Sir Lucius Clavering is not married, but he may as well be, considering he is expected to escort his widowed mother to watering holes, round out the numbers at his married sister's dinners, and come to the aid of his scapegrace younger siblings. It doesn't help that single women and matchmaking mamas jostle each other for his face, fortune, and title, so that he's left without a moment's peace. When Selena shows up at Lucius's doorstep looking for help, he is sure it's another ploy aimed at cutting up his prized bachelor existence. Although his prejudice does not last long, Lucius fears his first reaction might have ruined his chances with her. How can he save her from society's teeth when she continues to hold him at arm's length? So I think, if I remember correctly, I think this is a marriage of convenience. So another thing about it is a New Year's, like it occurs right around the New Year, which I think is interesting. So it's a good book to read for New Year's. I remember reading it and thinking it's very wintry and cozy. It opens up, let's see, I remember, I'm going to read this first section just to show y'all what I mean. But it says, Sir Lucius Clavering, 6th Baronet of Mardley, had just loosened his cravat. I don't know how you say that word, y'all. I always read it and say it in my head. And settled into the deepest armchair in his hunting box. His hunting box boasted when he heard the loud echo of the knocker on the front door and the footsteps of Briggs proceeding to answer it. He wasn't expecting visitors and couldn't imagine why anyone should arrive at this hour to trouble him, but he'd instructed Briggs not to disturb him, and so, with a satisfied smile, he closed his ears to the noises outside the library and reached for his warm brandy. A log in the fireplace cracked, and the well-cleaned chimney pulled the smoke upward. For the past hour or so, welcome aromas of roast game and simmering French sauces had wafted through the small stone house the inviting sense of refuge. He had endured a wearisome round of Christmas obligations at the estate, brought on by his widowed mother who still lived there, and the incessant demands of youthful, entitled siblings that came with such a reunion. A quiet meal in his own company would be just the thing to restore his peace. So, I don't know what, I just remember that opening passage just set this scene really for me. Like, it made this feel so cozy in my opinion. Just, it's like right after Christmas and he's on his estate and he's got his crackling fire in his library and the food is cooking. You could smell it in the little stone cottage, whatever. It sounds so cozy. So I loved that. And anyway, so this young lady, her carriage breaks down and she ends up at his mercy. And I think, if I remember right, it's a marriage of convenience, I believe. So, like I said, it's been a while since I read this. It may not be a marriage of convenience, but I think it is. I'll look it up after I get done filming, and I'll put a note on here and I can say whether it is or it isn't. But this one was really good. And then book 2, Philippa Holds Court. This one is about Sir Lucius' sister, Philippa Clavering. I'm trying to think what this is about. Oh, she sees her friend being pursued by someone that she thinks is the wrong gentleman, and so she tries to matchmake him with someone else. Her friends, I think her and the friend's older brother are like at odds about her trying to matchmake, and it's kind of like then they start falling for each other maybe. Anyway, it's another sweet story. And then the third one, The Sport of Matchmaking. It's about the third brother, George Clavering. He is like, he doesn't want to get married. Thinks he's too young, not ready for marriage. But then I think his brother, if I remember correctly, his brother is like, you've got to settle down. He ends up, I think there's a young lady who's not planning to get married. Like, she's like, everybody's like, when is she? She's been there she's been out for 5 seasons and isn't married. And so they place some bets about whether she's going to get married or not. And there's this whole story with that. So, delightful series. Like I said, I love her writing style. I love how the dialogue is so realistic to that time period, but also not overwhelmingly so, not in a way that is difficult to read. I have not read these. A Regrettable Proposal. This is in the Memorable Proposal series. I don't know. Now, she has written some books that are part of extended series with other authors. And so this may be one of those. I'm not sure. Yeah, this one, it says, Eleanor Daventry has come into money, but the inheritance comes with a condition. She must marry to have it. Steadfast and independent, she would rather become a schoolmistress than take a husband she does not love. Stratford Tunstall has just discovered his predecessor will the estate's unentailed land to Miss Daventry. Although cynical regarding love, the man recognizes a practical solution when he sees one. He and Miss Daventry must marry, and Stanford wastes no time in pressing his suit with disastrous results. In the face of such an insulting proposal, Eleanor flees to London, where she lands unwittingly in the home of Stratford's closest friends. Now, thrown together constantly, Eleanor can't help admiring his masterful apologies, never mind how often he must deliver them. Stratford concedes that against all his predictions, Eleanor enjoys success with the ton. How fortunate. Now, if only her suitors didn't feel the need to apply to him for advice. When combined forces threaten Eleanor's reputation, Stratford realizes it's more than her land he cares about. Somehow he'll have to convince Eleanor that his coming to her rescue is a deed inspired by love. Sounds delightful. And then, of course, like I said, I have the Yorkshire Carol that I've read. This one I talked about recently in a wrap-up. Also, this one is so pretty, y'all. Chapter. That's so pretty. It's very delightful. This is just a very sweet, very cozy Christmas read. Looks like, it just feels like you're stepping onto an estate in Yorkshire in the early 1800s at Christmas time and enjoying this party with all of these people attending. It's fun. Then His Disinclined Bride, Seasons of Change. This one is a marriage of convenience. I know. Not read this one either. I don't believe. And then I have this series. This is her latest trilogy, I believe, that she has recently come out with. The last one, I think, just came out at the end of last year. I have not read this one either, but let me show you how gorgeous these are. I'm really looking forward to these. This one is called A Whimsical Notion, but look at the covers. She had someone draw these for her. Isn't that gorgeous? And then the inside, this is what I love. Isn't that so beautiful? Like, just utterly gorgeous. I'm really looking forward to reading these. This one is about Philip Townsend. It says he's too busy trying to render his estate profitable to worry about managing its rundown house or finding a woman suited to the role of his wife. His beautiful and competent neighbor, Honoria would be the logical choice were it not for the enmity between their fathers that makes such a thing impossible. Honoria takes pride in a household well run and cannot understand why her dear neighbor won't make more of an effort at his. When it comes to the choice of husbands, she is too certain of what she wants to consider Philip for the role, but his tendency toward quiet acts of heroism and those firm lips, quirked upward in a grin, keep doing strange things to her heart. And there's a little bit more. I'm not going to read all that, but that's the first one. And then the second one is called A Stroke of Good Fortune. And this one is, again, so gorgeous. Oh, look at that. It's so pretty. This one is about a widow. So she went from the home of a father who didn't love her to the home of a husband who didn't love her. It would seem at last she was on the cusp of forging a happier future for her baby and herself, were it not for her dead husband's brother, who was determined to keep them captive. Theo Dawson was born and bred into the textile industry. He has never wished to inherit the mill and run it, but as the eldest son, no other choice presents itself. He might be able to resign himself to a life of duty rather than happiness, were it not for the beautiful widowed Mrs. Northwick, who is coming to mean every bit as much to him as fulfilling his duties. This kind of makes me think about just read the back makes me think about North and South, talking about having a mill owner. And then the third one, A Presumptuous Hope. Again, so gorgeous. Let's just read this little quote on the back. It says, "Who declared that every young lady of a certain age must surely wish for a husband, and why must a handsome bachelor in possession of a fortune be the obvious candidate simply because he lives next door?" That sounds interesting. So gorgeous. So there you go, guys. I hope y'all check out Jennie Goutet and give her some love. I think that if you like Julie Clausen, let me think. Julie Clausen, Erica Vetch, Carolyn Miller, then you will really like Jennie Goutet. Her books are just very good, sweet, clean reads. I don't remember if any of these have any faith elements. I think they're mostly just very clean reads But yes, they're really good, and I think she deserves more recognition here on BookTube, and so I hope you guys will check her out. Thank y'all for watching, guys. Talk to you later. Bye.